are we going to give dawah? So let's deal with this third one first. Where are we going to give dawah? Because at that time, remember, Jamaas had established durus in different masajid. Masajid that we did not hold in Jamaas to be Salafi. We held them to be everything else except for Salafi. Here in Birmingham, the masjid that was established through Jamaas was Greenlane. So we asked various scholars. From them, Sheikh Muqbil Al-Adi Al-Wadi'i, Abdul Salam Burjis, Sheikh Muhammad Hadi Al-Anjari, and many others. We asked them nasiha. Here in Birmingham, we do not have a masjid of our own. And we recognize that Jamaas had established da'wah in their masjid, in Greenlane Masjid. And none of us recognized Greenlane to be Salafi. We knew them to be Ikhwani, with Lajna Taiba, with Hafiz Sa'id, all those takfiri, Hatta al-Muhammad Surur. Some differ. I can remember Muhammad Surur teaching in Greenlane in the early days, where some said no, it was his student. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. The point is, his dawah was present there. Qutubi dawah was present there. But Jamaas used to call from there. Because Jamaas' issue was not about setting up masajid, it was all about giving dawah. Now Jamaas is finished, what are we going to do? Here was the answer of those mashaykh. And the head of them was the likes of Sheikh Al-Albani, who said, continue giving dawah and calling from that masjid, so long as they do not put restrictions upon your call. But if they put any restrictions upon your call, then it's la yajuz for you to call from their masjid, because you will confuse the people. This was the answer of all of those mashaykh. At the end of them, Sheikh Nasir al-Albani. So what does this show us, Ikhwan? Who can put two and two together? What does this show us? Who can tell me? Nah. This shows us that we were never with Greenlane. There was no we were with Greenlane. This is Kadhib Mubin. Just because you're present in the masjid, that doesn't mean that you're with the people. Because this is one of the shubahat that they send out. That we were with them and we split from them. This is kadhib. Even Jamaas were not with Ahl al-Hadith and their masjid in Greenlane and in Francis Road. We weren't with them. As far as we were concerned, these guys were not Salafi. But they were the closest thing to the Sunnah. And that's why we used to give dawah in their masjid. Oasis, we were advised by various of the mashaykhs, from them Al-Anjari, for Abu Anas to remove the name Oasis, due to it being a Jamaati type name, in which we turned our name from that to Maktaba Salafiyya. So that's when the name Maktaba Salafiyya was born for us in roughly 1996. One of the main differences that we as Salafis at that time decided was needed, and it's a part of our da'wah, is to connect the people to the scholars. Because one of the downfalls of Jimas also was that they connect the people to themselves, not to the scholars. And this is something that you find generally with Ahlul Bidah and those people who have desires with them, that they don't connect the people to the scholars, but rather they connect them to themselves and their group. So at that time, you have to remember this Dawah Salafiyya, this manhaj, especially with regards to the rulers and wala wal bara, allegiance and disallegiance, and with regard to all the groups and the different sects, was something which was new to us. Walhamdulillah, we asked the scholars that we mentioned before about establishing durus in Greenlane. Now, I don't want anybody to take my kalam and misunderstand when I say to you that Greenlane and those other places were not calling to Dawah Salafiyya. We don't want you to understand by that we're saying that they're mubtadi'een. What we're saying to you, what was clear to us from 1980s or 1991, 92 coming up all the way to this time now, is that there is a claim at this time, especially because before there was not even a mention of the word Salafi, but in this time there's a claim to call to Salafiyya, but we see lots of opposition with regards to what they say or what they claim, and with regards to their actions. Their actions do not match what they claim. Anyway, we decided, after the advice of those scholars, and them allowing us to continue doing durus in the masjid, we had Abu Anas here, Shaykhna, wa Al-Anjri, who we had introduced us to in 1995. Al-Anjri, alhamdulillah, he was really the one from anybody who had visited us before who instilled in our blood this manhaj and taught us what this wala and bara was about, this having allegiance and disallegiance, having love and having hatred. And we used to do books in those days, books which you'll find generally those people who we find claiming Salafiyya, we don't find them touching these books. We used to do Usul Sunnah, Imam Ahmad, Al-Bahari, Shar Sunnah. Likewise, we done the Aqidah of Abu Bakr Ismail. And we done those books which used to teach this manhaj. Those books which you will not find being taught by anybody, especially up in Greenlane. You won't find them being taught. Why? Because the minute you start teaching these books, you are a witness against your own self. Why? Because that which the Salaf of this Ummah used to call to, they were far removed from that. You tell me one day where the likes of Abu Sama would teach books like Barbahari. I remember بالضبط, he started it back in 1998 or something like that in America. Wallahi, lasted wonders. Islam is the Sunnah and the Sunnah is Islam. First point, couldn't explain it. Likewise, he started here in England the Aqidah of Imam Bukhari, I think it was. I can't remember that. In which he ended up saying that Imam Bukhari was one of those who said, my recital of the Quran is created. Which this is a lie on Imam Bukhari. This is against our Aqidah. And this was not what Imam Bukhari said. So we attempted to do it 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 lessons, and he just left it alone. So we were in the Masjid, and we had the likes of Andrew coming over us teaching these books. The likes of Abu Anas, Shaykh Muhammad al-Madkhali, Abdul Salam al-Burjis. They had come over here teaching these things. And then they advised the likes of Abu Talha to start translating those books to us and reading them to us in order for us to be strengthened in our manhaj regarding these deviant groups. Once these lessons started in Greenlane, now you must remember what we mentioned before. We were not in Greenlane because we were with Greenlane. Those who were here present before remember what I said. But we had recognized mukhalafat against the Sunnah from years ago. And we were advised by scholars that we should stay there because so long as they don't put no restrictions upon our Dawah. So we continued doing lessons there. And those brothers who were present at that time, wallahi, as you see the number of brothers sitting in front of me now, this is exactly how it used to be in Greenlane. It used to be full like this. The Dawah was going full force. And many of the people benefited at that time. As for those at Greenlane, from their leaders, or from their imams, or from their Shura, they had a dislike for us. Especially the likes of Abu Khadija. And other than Abu Khadija. Not just him, other than him. They had a dislike. We used to have our brother, our teacher, Abu Hakim, coming from Jamia at that time, who in 1996 was studying with the likes of Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Muhammad, and was well grounded. Wallahi, we were untouchable here in Birmingham. The Dawa spread through England. But these guys in Greenlane had an issue with us. From the main issue they had was the fact that we had destroyed Ihyataraf. And they had become close companions with Ihyataraf. Those who were involved in the Shura of Greenlane who split off before from Jimas and set up Al-Hidayah bookshop, which used to be further down the road before. And I remember when Ihyataraf set up their office at the top of their shop, in the attic. And it was under the guise of their Hajj package, Al-Bayk. But we all knew it wasn't about the Hajj package. They wanted a foot in Birmingham to try and cause tashwish with the du'at, those who were calling to clear Salafiyah. So as our Dawah proceeded, one day the Shura of Greenlane sought to have a meeting with us. This was about 1998. So myself, Abu Khadija, and Abu Muawiyah Safdar Khan, we went upstairs into their office to have a meeting with them, because they wanted to speak to us. When we entered into the room, you had the Shura of Ahl al-Hadith there, and I can tell you their names. hafidhaullah. You had the Khadim, the one who's in charge of Al-Hidayah. You had Jamil, who used to be the Imam. You had Abdul Hadi al-Umri, who was the Amir of Ahl al-Hadith at that time. And you had Shuhaib Maypuri. Now anybody who knows Ahl al-Hadith knows that was their Shura. So Abu Khadija entered into the room. Then Saftar Khan, then myself. Khadim turned around to Saftar Khan, and you can ask Saftar Khan, because they're from the same village, you know, village thing. And he said in Urdu, or in their language, why have you brought the Shidikala? Now, one of the Pakistani brothers probably can translate that for you, but it generally means, why have you bought the black, like, idiot, or the black fool, or the that type of thing. So Saftar went, A'udhu Billah, what are you on about? He is with us. Our Dawa isn't about Quran, and so our Dawa is Dawah Salafiyah. What do you mean, why did we bring him? Then hafidhaullah went on to say, Abu Khadija, you've been in the Masjid warning against Sayyid Qutb, Al-Mawdudi, and the likes of them. Where gives you the right to speak these things in here? So Abu Khadija said, but the ulama speak against them. The likes of Sheikh bin Baz, Abu Thaymeen, Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Muqbil. What did he say? He said, yes, they speak against them, but they don't tell us to burn their books. They don't tell us to burn their books or we can't benefit from their books. You should take, or words to the effect, we should take the good from them and leave the bad, which is an Ikhwani manhaj. It's not the manhaj of the Salafi. Then Khadim turned around and said, we want you guys don't pay no rent here, you don't give no sadaqah here, you don't do nothing for us here. So we're telling you to come and join us. Shuf al-kalam. Shuf, hear the kalam? We're telling you to join us. Which means what? What does that mean?
Yeah, you have to join.
That we wasn't together. That's why you're telling us to join us. Now because I've reverted this all back now to Birmingham, what was going on here in Birmingham. From the day I embraced, 1991, within 3 months we were Salafi. Myself, Abu Hakim, Abu Fadail, and Abu Umar. We were all Salafi. And we've been attending Greenlane from 1991 up until that day there. And not one day from the days that the sun has risen on the earth, from that time to that actual statement that he said to me, did they ever teach us anything to do with deen? Not even Salafiyah, deen. The only person who taught us was the likes of Abu Sufyan when they used to come, Abu Muntazir, Abu Alia, when they used to do their lessons for the English speaking folk. But never did they teach us anything. But now you're looking through, and anybody who knows in those days, in Greenlane the office was upstairs and they had a little window. And they could look into the masjid and they could see 150, 200 brothers sitting down listening to Abu Talha, and 50, 60 sisters listening to Abu Talha and thinking to themselves, what's going on here? This is not a masjid, this is our masjid, what's going on, look. But we know what they used to do, taking pictures, then sending them up to Saudi Arabia to Darul Ifta, the ones who fund them. Don't think for 1 minute that they fund their masjid. Their masjid is funded by two sources. Two sources. Darul Ifta in Saudi Arabia, which is a Dawa organization set up many years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago. And Ihya Turaf. They are the two people who fund Greenlane. They don't take no money from their pocket. They get paid to give Dawah which is not done or was not done. So now they turn to us and say, we must join you. And we were like, we're not going to join you. He said, well, when we were praying in the Brelvi Masjids, when we didn't have this, they gave us an ultimatum. They said, either you join what we're upon, or you leave us and go and find your own masjid. So we said the same thing to you. Either you join us and say what we're upon, or you go to your own masjid. Find your own place. Anyway, a lot of you don't even know some of the things that used to take place in Greenlane at that time. Because of their connection to the government and the political parties, like the Conservatives, sometimes with the Conservatives, sometimes Labour, sometimes Liberal Democrats, sometimes the Respect Party, all that kind of stuff was going on. So behind the Musalla, which is now the Musalla, but at that time it wasn't the Musalla, behind there, they used to have meetings. Some of them, they used to have meetings for the Brelvis, where the Brelvis, the Sufis, the Ikhwanis, they used to come and sit down together and have dialogue about Kashmir. What are we going to do for Kashmir? And then we're going to all do a march in the middle of London. All of us come together and march for Kashmir. Brelvis, Sufis, Qadianis, who are not even Muslim, Shia. Sometimes, wallahi, when they used to finish in there, we used to be praying Maghrib, for instance. And then Brelvis used to come in and see us praying. They used to wait until we finished praying. Then they would come in and pray. Because it's liar Jews to pray behind us. Likewise, they used to have political meetings behind there in Greenlane. Wallahi, they had lesbians behind there talking to a Muslim and things like this. And their call was a call to voting and all that kind of stuff, as well as their ikhtilat or their connections to Lashkar Taiba, all those jihadi takfiri groups in Pakistan, people like Hafiz Saeed and all those guys who are well known for their takfir and their jihad. So there's no way we was going to join with them, because our call was not that. Our call was to the pure Salafi. So, one Ramadan, they chose a fall guy, a person by the name of Isra Khan, who decided one day he was going to set up a dars in Greenlane, calling the people, doing Dawa, Kitab Tawheed, I don't know what it was. But he decided he wanted to do a dars. So, we just refuted him straight away because he was a jahil. Yeah? And when he started his lesson, nobody would come to his lesson. Because he was mardud. He was refuted. So what did he do? These guys in Greenlane, they didn't want us to be there no more. They wanted us out. But they couldn't just kick us out. Because they know that's dhulm. And they have many people that come from Saudi Arabia, teachers, scholars, that would wonder, well, where the youth gone? And it wasn't enough to say we just kick them out. They would have to bring something in order to remove us from the masjid. So what they did, I don't remember what night it was in Ramadan, they got Isra Khan after Tarawih prayer. Now the masjid is full Tarawih prayer. And Isra Khan went on the mimbar and he said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, I would like to start to do a talk about an individual who is, is a horrible individual, is a jahil, and his name is Abu Khadija. So naturally, they knew, Shabab, we're not going to have that. So everyone stood up. What's this? What's that? This, that. Some of them jumped up. Come on, then let's go free. It was like, it became a war in the masjid. Then Abdul Hadi came in and took the mic and said, we have seen the behavior that you are causing our masjid, causing violence and argument and shouting and all this kind of stuff in front of the people. So from this day, all your circles are banned in the masjid. All your circles are banned in our masjid. Now, what circles were going on? Kitab al-Tawheed, Usul al-Thalatha, Ashar Sunnah, Usul Sunnah, Riyad al-Salihin, and Silsila Hadith Sahiha. Numbers like this were turning up. And now you've banned all those speakers from doing any talks. They even went further. I wish I had the paper here to show you. Asked Abu Khadija, but he couldn't remember where it was. They put out a piece of paper, a i'lan, stating that we are being banned from doing circles in the masjid. And that no three of us could congregate in the masjid. So three of us can't sit down and talk in the masjid, or else we're going to call the police. Okay, so let's ponder upon what took place. Did we leave the masjid? They stopped the durus. Alhamdulillah, a matter of weeks, we were able to secure this building here. Munn Street, Blendit. That building there. And in a couple of months, we fixed the building up and turned it into Maktaba Salafiyya. And then the durus started back in there. But we never established Salah in there. Rather, we used to do the durus here, and we used to go to Greenlane to pray in Greenlane. I remember it was Sheikh Salim, Allah Yahdihi, who said to us, leave them from years ago. Leave them. He said they were Ikhwani, they were Ta'ban. And when he heard that we had this place here, he said, establish it as a masjid. Establish it as a masjid. And we was like, but it's too small to be a masjid. It's not enough space. He goes, whatever. Just separate yourself from them. But we never. We established it as a Dawa center. Calling to La ilaha illallah ala faham as-Salaf salih. So alhamdulillah, the circles, they kept running here for a couple of years. In Greenlane, there was nothing. No circles happening in Greenlane for the best part of 4 years. That's how miskeen the Dawah was. All of the Shabab, they were down here. When Mashaykh came, they came here. We used to do a sisters lesson in Hartop Road Masjid, which is one of their branches, every Saturday, every Sunday morning. MashaAllah, beneficial lesson just for the women. Their old folks used to call our women prostitutes. Why? Because when we used to start the lesson at maybe 11 o'clock, and then it would finish about 12:30. Then Dhuhr would be at 2 o'clock, at 1 o'clock. Sometimes when the clock goes back, the Salah gets earlier. So they used to pray Dhuhr at 12:30. But one day we must have forgot that the clocks went back, and the circle had started at 11 o'clock, but it was finishing at the time when they came to pray. So there was women, not in the masjid, But there was a separate section where they used to have for women. And when the men turn up and seen women there, they was like, who are all these women? What are they? And they started to say in Urdu, they are prostitutes. And they used to say that these people, and they were talking about the black people, they used to say these people, they have no father. Abu Khadija is their father. That's what they used to say. I see some of you giggling like it's funny. Likewise, they prevented us from doing all that, but we still kept on doing our dawah here until alhamdulillah, Allah blessed us with this. As soon as we got this, their propaganda started. First thing, and those who are shuhada to this, they said this masjid will be called Robalip Masjid. Robalip Masjid, huh? Because it's all going to be just black people here. Huh? And Shidi Mosque. That was the aqwal from those up there. But alhamdulillah, we opened the masjid. And we called to clear-cut Dawah Salafiyah here for how many years? They had nothing going on up in their masjid. So what happened? What's all the confusion about now? Except that when our dawah became huge, because the circles still were like this, in here, what happened? There became a bunch of people who were Ahl al-Hadith, and they came amongst the Pakistani folk who were amongst us, the Shabab. And they started to say, how can you leave Ahl al-Hadith? Look at us up there. We defend Pakistan. We're Salafi up there. We're calling the people to the same thing they're calling to. They split from us. You should go back up there and be with them. So then you add a migration of several Pakistani, Indian brothers that were convinced by their wiswas. And then they left here and went up there. But still, there was still a large amount of revert brothers here, and some Pakistani brothers that stayed, and other brothers. So there was still a large number.